This game follows through the investigation from a retired private investigator who can't seem to put his hands off his occupational habits.
I promise you, I'll stop at nothing until I find her.
After a couple of hours in, I like this game, where you have to deduce evidence yourself without the game holding your hands too much. First off, I'm impressed with how well the game presents Conway doing his job. He did well leading suspect to voluntarily do things needed for him to gather more clues. For example, in this scene, Conway would stress Annabelle psychologically. Through this way, she would do what Conway wants her to do.
You're right. If you don't feel it appropriate, then best not to bother him.
Thank you.
I was hoping to clear it all up today, you see. I'd hate to have to bother you tomorrow or the day after, or even the day after that. It's not in my character to be a nuisance. However, I did promise Mr. Morgan. Perhaps I'll return later on.
Wait. If it's not going to take too long, I could fetch him now.
Now, after gathering the evidence required, you have to use them to further support your point. And I like this aspect. You have to deduce the clues you had that are actually relevant. Star brooch. To this,
I wonder if finding where the brooch was dropped could help build a better picture of the attacker's movements.
review theory. Nice.
So,
However, as much as the game impressed me, the game can be broken, at least from my initial gameplay. In this section, for example, there is an essential tool needed to progress the game further. And after I use it for other purpose, I can't seem to retrieve it. Yeah, I just found the piano key, come on. And after restarting the game, the tool is bugged out and I couldn't find it anywhere else, not even in my inventory. We can't continue without the pencil, which means the only thing left for me is to restart the entire game from the beginning to avoid making the same mistake. I know I kind of shove it into the piano, but oh man, it crashed. Now, this is fortunate for me, as this happens in the early stage of the gameplay, but I couldn't imagine other players having this issue at a much later stage. And restarting at that point is kind of like demoralizing. You probably wouldn't do that. On top of that, there is another instance where the interaction key for the game to progress simply did not show up. Oh well. The great detective is now trapped. I had to do my own diligence to restart the game before it's shown to me, and this really hinders the quality immersion that I had. Now, with all this considered, I can certainly picture players who didn't know what to do and finding the game broken. And this would be a pity to a game which I believe holds great potential in delivering a good experience. With all that said, all this is only my initial impression after playing the game for the first couple of hours. Otherwise, that's it. And I shall see you again next time.